Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. This is the Purium Business Opportunity Zoom. We do this every week, and we are in the graces of my honored mentors, Eric Mish and Ian Farrar. I'm really humbled that I could be here with you guys tonight. I've always been inspired and just taking cues from your success and the strategy that you've laid out. This is the plan that when you apply it and you're motivated, the magical things can happen. So I do have an experience with coming from very humble beginnings to where Allison and I are now at two-star crowns, where the trajectory wasn't linear, and really escaping that linear kind of mindset, the hours to dollars binary kind of programming was difficult to overcome. But in doing so and leaning into it, we discovered that there is major opportunity. Got a cat here. Uh, thanks, Freya. Um, so I was hoping actually, I wanted to hear if Eric, if you wouldn't mind sharing. I find your story really compelling because just I think it's so relatable in how you had this overlap with both opportunities and how I think most people are in a situation like yours. And yeah, if you don't mind, and then I'll be happy to share my story briefly after you.
Yeah, thanks so much for introducing me back into the call. My story may or may not resonate with everyone, but it's I think it certainly can relate to a lot of people who are in a very demanding job right now. As I worked an extremely demanding corporate job for nearly 15 years, and I felt the effects of burnout. As you can imagine, being in the corporate environment today is extremely exhausting. It's highly stressful, and stress, proven fact, takes a toll on the mind and even on the body. And certainly I was feeling the effects of stress as my goals continued to increase and increase and increase. And the resources that I had to work with were less and less and less. And so I felt squeezed. And yeah, I was making great money. I had the benefits and the company car and the 401k and all those things. But I was really feeling the pinch in other areas of my life, and specifically not being able to enjoy the time freedom that comes with making a great income. And that was one thing that really appealed to me when I was presented with a residual income model. And so, first time in my life, I was introduced to residual income. Wasn't until my late 30s. Everything I knew prior to that was linear income. It was what I was taught. You go to school, you get a good job, you work your job for 40, maybe 50 years, and hope that you have enough in retirement at the end. And I quickly realized that model, while it worked for my parents and my grandparents, in today's day and age, doesn't work for many, many people. In fact, close to 75% of people are not prepared for retirement, even those that earn a great income and are educated. Many of them are unprepared. So I knew there had to be a different trajectory. And also, there were certain things that I just wanted to do. Like my wife and I, we love traveling. Two things that takes is time and money. And the hardest part was finding the time. I used to have to beg for vacation time. In fact, three bosses would have to approve my vacation time. And if any one of them said no, it was no. And it never was a good time to take vacation. So I always rolled over time. And more than a few years, I lost vacation time. And so, I was thinking, where's the time freedom? And so I'm so grateful that someone cared enough about me to share this opportunity with me. And it came from a complete stranger, funny enough. It all started with a gift card, as it goes. I was introduced to this lifestyle and this business model in 2012. And since then, I have steadily grown a business. most of which I was working the job. And I learned this system, the Purium system. And that's really what made the difference for me. I was able to use the tools. I was able to find little segments of time, sometimes even 5 minutes throughout the day, to build my business, to just share the great results that I had had from a health and wellness standpoint. And I also had people that were asking me, because I had such amazing results, that people started asking me, what are you doing? So that made it easy. And this gift card system that we're going to talk more about later on made it super easy, because all I had to do is share an electronic code with them, and off they went. They purchased the product, and with our smart order system, they were able to repurchase month after month. So that created the residual income. So, it started off real small. I think my first check was about $72. And, when you're making a six-figure income in the job world, that might not seem like a big deal. But those checks kept growing. They kept growing, and they kept growing, and they kept growing. And within a few short months, I realized that I had a legitimate part-time income. That was almost like having several $100,000 in the bank and earning interest off that. It was like getting an extra part-time job, but not working all those extra hours for it. It just was an eye-opener. And that's when I realized if I put forth more effort, that I could turn a part-time income into eventually a full-time income, but with the leverage that I didn't have in my linear income job. And so I said, if I just work this a little harder, after hours, on weekends, whenever I get the chance, and I put forth a few years of effort into it, maybe after a few years, I have another option. Having options is really important. If all you have is option A, you're stuck with it. When you have option A, B, and C, now you can choose. And that's exactly what I was able to do. After a few years, I created a full-time income that matched my corporate income job. And then at that point, I was able to choose. So then it was on my terms. And so a lot of people leave a job like that on certainly not on their terms. It can be very messy. I've seen it happen. I was able to leave when I was ready. And when I was ready, I wasn't destitute, didn't have to claim unemployment. I had my Purium income that was right there paying me dividends month after month. And it was perfect timing, because when the pandemic hit in early 2020, uh, my Purium business was right there. And it was something health and wellness based. Hello, everyone needed health and wellness during that period. And so there was my Purium business. It was a work from home business, or I should say a work from Rome business. I don't mean Rome, Italy. I mean Rome anywhere you want. You could pick up and go. All you need is your smartphone. If you want to work in a different city, different part of the world, we've had many people do that. You just pick up and go. How flexible is that? Never had that with my JOB. So perfect timing. And throughout that period, my income increased by 400%. It was amazing. The most critical time economically, possibly in our lifetime, when many businesses shut down, when many people, thousands and thousands of people lost their jobs overnight. I had this thriving business, and I'm so grateful for that. Today, some 12 years later, I have a business that has over 85,000 customers and brand partners around the world. It's a business that pays me dividends 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even when I'm sleeping, and pays me whether at this point, if I pick up and I choose to live somewhere else, that's always an option for me. I love living in South Florida, but who knows? And or if I decide to take a vacation, I want to just on a whim pick up and go somewhere. The freedom that I have is unparalleled. I never had that in my corporate job. And so what a blessing it is. Now, the best part outside of the income, which we're going to tell you about our Fast Start program and our compensation plan, but is the rewarding experience of being able to see people like Allison and Jared, Marie, Michelle now, create the same freedom for themselves that I was able to do. That is such a blessing. And it's just awesome to not have to exclude others from success, to be able to base your success on the success of others. There's an old saying that goes, if you want to run fast, you run alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. And I love that. I love being on this mission with thousands and thousands of other like-minded individuals that are as passionate about helping others in the environment as I am. So if that resonates with you in any way, your journey may or may not be exactly like mine, but if it resonates in any way, then I would certainly encourage you to get back with the person who invited you to this call and ask them more questions, ask them how you can get started today. With that, Jared, I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Eric. I love that story. I always knew nuggets in there, always of inspiration. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And I'd like you, me and Allison, we're having our 10-year wedding anniversary this year, and we always wanted to do something together, and we tried lots of different business ideas. And knowing the statistic that 11 out of 12 new businesses fail, it only makes sense that you're going to try a lot of different things and, be super hopeful. You go all in, you're believing in it, and then it might not work. So when Purium came along, much like the food itself, it was radically different than what I was used to. I had to kind of undo a lot of programming. So when it was introduced, I, was carrying a lot of the stigma of of MLM, and, kind of believing what the stereotypes were saying about it. Like no one makes any money. And there's all these pitfalls and things like that. So seemingly a lot of risk there, but when you actually do a risk assessment and you realize what's on the table, I would think that going all in on just one job would be risky. And not having multiple streams of income is also risky. So Allison and I did a little risk assessment. And because we love the food, we were going to buy it anyways, there's nothing to lose. And this was something that we could share it. And just through word of mouth, the most powerful form of marketing, we could grow it and scale it up just with time freedom. And little by little, I phased out of my full-time job. I was a creative director at a company, and I had a small team. So here I am managing a team where I could see how COVID could kind of just shut it all down at the drop of a hat. I could see how you could invest in new personnel, new employees that just quit and leave all of a sudden. So all that training, all those resources and energy and time is just gone. So not a lot of security there either. Where the Purium opportunity didn't have all these kinds of setbacks, all these boundaries and limitations and headaches of typical business. So it was really refreshing. And knowing that we're getting paid 5 times a month from Purium, that kind of stability, that kind of security also felt really good. So what happened was we just grew it little by little. We put in our time, and we're just consistent with it. We go to Diamond, and then you're entering profit sharing. And right there, it was matching my full-time income, well, my part-time income, sorry. So I started phasing out of my job, leaving behind this security, the comfort of a daily 9 to 5 job for something that most people think has a lot of risk associated with it. So now we're just duplicating what worked for us. And, along our journey, it was a lot of up and downs. It wasn't linear. But within those ups and downs, we were always growing a little bit. And what started as us just making enough commissions and bonuses for us to pay for our products at the beginning, that slowly turned into a few hundred extra dollars a week. We could pay some bills, awesome, to this is now replacing a part-time income and then full-time income. And now we're making more than we ever could have dreamed. Honestly, it was Allison, for her to come from a place of didn't do well at school. She was medicated for most of her life and was seemingly not capable of achieving much success um, in comparative terms, but because she found a place here where community and emotional intelligence are really valued, she is thriving and she's drawing people in like a magnet who also needed that permission to share their story and help other people truly. And it's just the gift of nutrition. All we're really doing is sharing a gift here, and it's incredible. So the power of mentorship is so obvious when you look at our compensation plan and the fast start bonuses. We just had our June launch call where we're seeing people in our organization making multiple thousands of dollars just in matching bonuses. So what that means is you mentored somebody through the fast start, and you yourself are getting the same bonus that they are. And beyond just the financial reward of that, there is something so powerful to that idea of helping somebody else. Without their success, you're not really going anywhere. And I'm motivated to help Eric achieve goals. I want to help Ian achieve his goals because I know that we are all bound by this mission. We want to eat healthier so that we could, repair the soil, repair our gut microbiome collectively. And that is an important purpose. So this is what it takes. It's just us linking arms like this and just one by one healing guts. And just to speak quickly about preparation, I think Eric spoke a lot about being prepared, and this is health preparation in terms of the food you're preparing your body, and in terms of prevention, there's no better way than just powerful nutrition and detoxification like what we have. So there's that health preparation and it's financial preparation, and we saw that by before COVID hit, we had been already doing Zoom calls and learning how to work online. COVID comes, and then that's the new norm. Zoom wasn't a household word before COVID. And here we were, well practiced. We have a professional Zoom account. We know how to make meetings and recordings. We had a leg up there. And then, yeah, just how to deal with customers, how to find new customers and create like good customer relationships. These are powerful development tools that were just free. And we thrived during COVID, whereas I saw a lot of my friends and collaborators suffer during COVID. But here we are an essential service. We're food. And this is what people needed, especially during COVID, right? So that's kind of our story in a nutshell. And we look to our leaders. We watch what they do, because when I met Ian and Joel and Eric in Florida at the first time, I didn't know who they were. I just saw that they were living these kinds of lifestyles that I wanted for myself. I wanted to live a life of leisure and travel with my kids and just spend more time with my family. And here they were leading that example. So all we did was just watch what they did, just do what they do and do what, and when they're telling us to do something, we actually do it. So I'd love for Ian, if you wouldn't mind, this is our OG. This is the first brand partner of Purium. Give it up for Ian Farrar. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Jared. And hi, Allison, if you're listening in. This has been a true labor of love. This is my 21st year with the company. I am the founding brand partner. I actually planted the idea in Amy Vanover's mind 22 years ago. And then I got a call from this long blonde hair dude named Dave Sandoval, who's formulator, co-founder. And we launched this company, and it's helped tens and tens of thousands of people. So, and by the way, Sage down there, thank you for joining the call. I actually met him. My mom passed this past weekend, and he's a really, real dear friend of my nephew, Lucas. They're roommates, 20 something, very progressively oriented here. So thank you for getting on here. I kind of shared with him all the benefits of our community, what Purium's all about, because we really are on a economic mission to impact our fellow Americans, but also impact people's health, which is the real wealth. Okay. If you get good and great and extraordinary at making an impact on your community and those around you, you can make as much income as you want to make. Now, I have the largest organization in the company because I'm the OG, and Joel and myself actually are the top recruiters in the company because we've been with the company for the longest period of time. And then, you know, kids like Eric came along and his cousin Sonia, and now Melissa Hansen and Jared and Allison. So now the family's gotten a whole lot bigger. But the people that are looking at the opportunity now, I can't tell you how much bigger and better and easier it is. Now, we're still in the business of network marketing. We're still in the business of working with people, but this thing didn't exist when I got involved in network marketing. Okay. This thing, this has made it a whole lot easier. So for the kids that are really good on social media, now Jared's videos are awesome. I love all of your watermelon, red drinks, green drinks. You could really do some amazing things with what we have to offer with our company. $50 gift card marketing systems, hands down, really, really wonderful offering. And there is no income like residual income. I mean, every Friday we get paid 64 times a year. You know, this company is here to stay, and we're going into our next major hockey stick in growth and volume. We just were on the launch call, and you know, some people are putting up some massive numbers. I mean, I saw some record-breaking customer acquisition sales that I've never seen before. We're talking 6 figures for the month. Okay, massive. So for anyone that's taking a look at this business, okay, you have a tremendous support system. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And it's time to rock and roll, you know. So I'll get on these calls every week if you guys want to really, you know, paint the big picture perspective on how this could work for people. Back to you, Eric.
We kick it back over to Jared to close it out.
Oh, back to Jared.
Love that, Ian. Thank you so much, brother.
Welcome.
Just watching you, watching both of you is constant inspiration for what is possible. And I know what happens when people lean into an opportunity fearlessly and just with long-term vision. That is really refreshing these days for people who can see past just the immediate results, the kind of comfort zone, easy in, easy out kind of things. And it pays off. And much like the food, the opportunity needs to work its magic and just really embrace it. So I urge everyone right now, if you are on the fence, just to explore the opportunity, check out the compensation plan, get with your whoever invited you here, just to take a deeper look at the numbers, do your due diligence, and check it out, because this is a very smart investment of your time, of your energy. It is really a game changer for a lot of people. I wish I had started sooner. We're only about 6 years in right now, so we're going all the way. And thank you everybody for joining. We'll be back next week with another opportunity call. So lots of happy customers. There's a lot of people who love this food, who could easily create a new income stream for free. Zero risk there. So thank you, Ian. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everyone, for joining and for participating in the chat. Really, really great. Have an awesome week. See you soon. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.
All right, ciao.
Good night.